Hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for listening to my channel, Too Soon to Stop, the How to Reinvent Yourself channel for those who have no desire to retire. It is obvious that you are on a journey to realize the best version of yourself and willing to make and put in the hard work to do it. Let's get started. Why is it important, so very important, to make hard choices? You have to do this in order to lead others. You must lead yourself. Well, until you become more decisive, it will be much more difficult to lead others to make decisions for themselves that can ultimately help them to be their best. So how do you become more decisive? The most important and practical way to achieve great decision-making capabilities on your own and in your own life is to take things very granular. By granular, I mean breaking things down to their elemental truths, down to the nitty-gritty. This takes a lot of very necessary think time, and no one can do this for you. Okay, you may ask, so how do I get this granular thing you are talking about? Okay, let me explain it to you. Here are some very important questions to ask yourself. Why do you want to make the decision in the first place? You must have clarity with your why. Furthermore, you will not be able to make the necessary change if you do not make this all-important decision with absolute clarity. This is why no one can do this for you. You have to become the best expert of doing you. Next, what do you lose out on by not making the decision? How does it impact others in your life and not just yourself? Are you willing to continue to pay the price of this indecisiveness? Can you see what a negative impact you are having by not moving forward with that decision? Aren't you tired of wasting time? Aren't you sick and tired of yourself and your lack of change? These are hard questions that must be answered in order to help others and yourself. You are able to relate better with others because you know what it's like to be indecisive and having to live with mediocrity. Additionally, you must be able to make an informed decision. No guesswork or hoping things will work out for the best. So how do you accomplish this? You must be willing to invest in yourself and believe in yourself. Do not make the lack of money or the insecurity lies that you have told yourself for years be an excuse not to get the education that you need to move to the next level. This is one of the major reasons I almost used to not invest in my medical education in order to become a doctor. Think of it. Over 38 years of helping others as a doctor would have never happened had I not been willing to invest the money and time. Now, think of all the lives impacted and saved because I did move forward. Had I not been helping others in the way that I've been able to, I would have only been living my present life through my imagination and not the reality that I am living now. How could I invest in my education to acquire the necessary expertise if I am asking others to invest their time and effort into themselves? Where's my credibility? I would lack the know-how to help others because I am not willing to invest in myself and my education. Do I realize how absolutely selfish and absurd that sounds when God has given me the natural talent to help others and the deep desire to do so? How could I live with myself if I let a few Benjamins stand in my way of helping myself and making a difference in others' lives? It would have been a constant war with myself and God. Can you see the pattern of asking yourself what would happen if you did not make the decision and what would happen if you did not do the decision? It could mean the difference between night and day in your future and the future of others that you can impact. Please allow me to share with you a story from my past. I was a young girl, just graduating high school, and had not yet even left my parents' home. My job, which was a typist in a pool in a bank with other typists, was to sit around and type 8 hours a day, transcribing dictation from bankers. Anyway, one day while I was coming home from my typist job, I was approached on the street by the older sibling of one of my classmates. I did not know her except in passing. Somehow, however, she had found out that through the grapevine I was considering becoming a doctor. She advised me not to invest the money for my medical education. Her reasoning? It would be too hard and too expensive. True, the humble beginnings that I come from made this seem like a Herculean task, and I am sure this young woman meant well because it seemed very much out of the realm of possibility. But thank God I did not follow this unsolicited advice. My guess is that she had told herself the same thing because she wanted to be a doctor and she felt it only right to pass it on to me. Mind you, this was consistent with other responses I was receiving about becoming a doctor. I had already told people that I wanted to be a doctor, and I got many, "yeah, right" comments and some encouraging comments. But I was on my own. There was no role model around for me to emulate. If I had only followed this advice, I would have half-heartedly continued my clerical career, unfulfilled and always wondering what might have been. You know, that trifecta of regret, coulda, woulda, and shoulda, would have been my reality, and I would be a shell of myself. I ask people all day, every day to make decisions based on my advice. I will let you in on a secret. Successful people invest thousands of dollars in their education so that they can remain successful. This is a key element that many do not realize and why they stay in their mediocre lives and wonder if only. Well, think of it as this only. Be willing to invest in your education and spend money. Spend the time and put in the hard work. It is amazing how resourceful you can get if you really want to go after pursuing your dreams. I am writing this at 2:30 a.m. while talking and encouraging my husband as we both work through our insomnia. Find ways to utilize the resources you do have to accomplish the desires that you do have. Furthermore, by all means, do not neglect the most important things in your life, like your family. Think of it as oxygen. You cannot have oxygen cut off or else you will die. In the same vein, you cannot cut off your education or else your dreams will die. Do you really want your dreams to die and you simply survive instead of thriving? What an empty existence. Do you really want this for yourself? What about those you cannot help because you failed to prepare yourself? Yes, of course, we are all responsible for ourselves, but we also need each other. Where are you? Make the decision today to stop telling yourself, "I can," and instead start asking yourself, "How can I?" Change your belief system today for a more productive and fulfilling tomorrow. Till next time, praying for your success and wishing you the very best.